So imagine that you're running late for work, you run out to your car, you jump in, you hit your start button, and it doesn't start. Wow, how frustrating of a feeling that is. Well, we've all been there. And folks, it could be that something in your engine bay or in your car is actually draining your battery while it sits in your driveway, robbing your juice, making you late for work. The first thing I want to show you is the Klein CL800. So this, my friend, is your friend. Let's open her up. Can you see that? This is the CL800. Now what this is, it's an AC DC clamp-on ammeter. Now I've already got my hood open, as you can see, but for all of you, step one is going to be to pop the hood. So make sure you close the car door all the way. Now that you've got the hood popped, you want to leave the car alone. Don't open the door. Don't play the radio. Don't allow anybody else to open the door. You want to let it set for a half an hour with the hood open. That way, no power, no accessories, your dome lights, your radio, nothing is playing, and the car is just sitting. That's very important for the next step. So now this works with a partially charged battery or a fully charged battery. If your battery is completely dead, you're going to also want to charge it with a portable charger for at least 2 hours to get some kind of charge on your battery. After you've parked your car, you've charged it, you open your hood, and you close your door, you haven't touched it in half an hour, we're ready to begin. So come over here, let's zoom in. We're going to be using the CL800 right here. It's made by Klein tools. This is a lifesaver, a great meter to have around the house. It also does your red and black, your multimeter functions. I will throw a link in the description right there. Check it out on Amazon. Super inexpensive. And this thing is really a lifesaver to have around your house, as I'm about to show you just one of the many, many features you can use it for. So let's get right into it. So the CL800, we're going to want to put it in the amps DC position right there. So it's the A, and then we want the orange straight and dotted line underneath. So we're going to hit the orange key right there. As you can see, it puts it into DC amps right there. But now you'll notice that we do have amperage already on the meter. This is just residual amperage that the meter has stored. We want to zero that out with the orange button right there. So now we have 0. That's what you want to see when you start. So next we're going to find the battery. Now if you have a diesel or something that has 2 batteries, I recommend starting with 1 battery at a time. Now this is the positive cable right here. We're not worried about that today. We want to find the negative. So look for your black cable with a minus symbol. That's your negative cable. You're not going to disconnect anything with this particular meter. So we have it in DC amperage. We'll place it around somewhere on your black cable. Doesn't have to be right at the battery like mine, but unfortunately mine is routed underneath. It's very tricky to get to, so I'm going to have to try to show you right here on the corner. Now, as you can see, it's upside down, but we're still getting 0. Sorry about the weird angle on my car here, but we are getting 0. So this is an example of how it should look if your car is not robbing your battery of juice while it's sitting around, because we've got no accessories on, we've got no lights, no nothing. So you should be getting 0 amps. That means nothing in your car or on your car is drawing power from the battery while it's just sitting static. That's what you want to see. So let me show you an example of what it would look like if you have some kind of current draw on your battery while it's sitting around. I've actually turned on my accessories, which turns on my brake lights and my radio and dome lights. I am now getting a 0.32. So something is drawing current now on my battery while it's sitting turned off in my driveway. If you were to see this and you've turned nothing on, you've got no lights, radio, nothing, then you have something that is stealing power from your battery while it's sitting around in your driveway, and that's going to end up costing you money, folks, when you have to replace your batteries too often. So now that we've established we've got some kind of current draw on our battery when we shouldn't, the next step is going to be, let's locate the issue. The first thing you want to do is look for the obvious things. Look for an accessory plugged in to one of the outlets. Maybe you've left a phone charger running, maybe you've left a GPS on, maybe you've left a power inverter plugged in your trunk. And now that you're back out to the engine bay, it's time to look for some issues that could be in here. Now, these are going to be more of the trickier problems, but more commonly what causes a true current leak that's draining your battery over the weekends. So one thing you want to check is your grounds. You're going to have grounds like these all around your engine bay, and it even could be underneath your car. So you may have to get underneath and look for some grounds attached to the bottom of the engine, around the engine bay, and that type of thing. You're checking for loose grounds. If you've got a ground that you can wiggle around and it's not tight against the metal, then that could cause a small arc between the connector and your metal chassis, and that, folks, can drain power through that negative strap on your battery. First thing is to check for loose grounds. If you find a loose ground, tighten it up. Check the others just to make sure and tighten up any loose grounds that you find. Come back over and check your meter. If your meter is now showing 0, then you fixed your problem. So as long as it's showing 0, nothing is draining any juice from your battery while it's sitting static in your driveway. If you found that you've got no loose grounds, everything looked really good, the next thing you're going to want to do is just go along your whole engine bay, and you're going to look for any kind of components that may have connectors on them. If they've got connectors, you can simply pop those connectors off and see if your meter is now showing 0. If it does, then you've got a faulty component. So if you've unplugged it and the current draw goes away, bam, you've got your issue. Replace that component. Now, one thing to say with these connectors, especially in the engine bays, is they can get brittle. Connectors can break, so be very careful, especially with stuff on your brakes. You probably wouldn't want to check that one anyway, because your master cylinder should not be drawing current. Find any electrical components as far as sensors, computers, stuff like that. Now, again, on the computers, you want to refer to your manufacturer's instructions and make sure it's okay to unplug that computer. Really do your research, because computers are expensive, and if you accidentally break the connector, short out the computer, or flash it somehow, that's going to be expensive. So please refer to the manufacturer's instructions on anything to do with your computers. Basically, now you're looking for any component that is faulty. The internals of the component is usually shorting out in a small manner, which draws a small current from your battery. Now, if you've got a rather large current drawing from your battery at all times, then you've got a big short somewhere. It's probably going to be on one of your power wires that are connected to your red cable somehow along the chassis connectors. Somewhere in there, you've got some kind of breakdown in insulation. Maybe some pack rats have chewed through them and it's touching together. It's slightly touching the metal. That's going to cause a short circuit to ground, and that will cause a high amperage load on your meter. So that would probably be more than an amp, something like that. You've got a bigger issue, but most times you're going to find the small current draws that are just slowly trickling down your battery in your driveway. Those are usually the loose grounds, faulty component or something like that. Okay, once you've found the issue and you've fixed it, place the clamp meter back on your negative strap on your battery, and just be sure that it does show 0 when you're done. That way you know you found the issue and nothing else is draining your battery. And that's it, folks. Just using this inexpensive clamp-on Klein meter right here, you can really troubleshoot and just double check that your battery is safe and not being used while it's sitting in the driveway for no reason. Again, I'll throw the link to this meter down in the description. Check it out on Amazon. It is a lifesaver. I've used it for so many things around the house as well, but now you can even use it on your car to save these expensive batteries. All right, folks, if you've enjoyed this video, watch that one right there. I picked it out for you. I think you're going to love it.